Take two. Hello.
Hi guys.
Um, so this episode, after whatever the pleasantries and everything, is going to be a little different because,
For a
uh,
variety of reasons.
yes, because Shaylee need to do assignment.
Yes. Okay. Here's what's happening. Here's what's happening. I am currently doing an assignment that is due at 11 o'clock tonight that I didn't think was due until tomorrow, but it is. So here we are trying to like hardcore just pound it out, and I'm incredibly bored. So Brian offered to entertain me. However, I told him if we were to start like a show or something on Netflix, I would completely ignore said assignment. So this is a nice little middle ground.
Yes. Um, Segueing into that, the reason she needs these things is because, but
Do
we'll
we
just
officially say it? Yeah, I mean we don't like
no,
officially, but
we don't
but
officially say it, but okay. So to segue even further, about a year ago, we titled an episode "Interview with My ADHD Girlfriend," where I
yes, we
kind
did.
of sat beside Mike behind the camera and asked Shaylee questions. Other YouTubers have done that in the past, and we thought it'd be interesting. Um, at that point, we had no definitive proof, nor was Shaylee actively seeking to prove the ADHD theory.
No, yeah, it was mostly just I got TikTok and TikTok started calling me out, and I was like, oh, I probably like have it, but whatever.
So fast forward to, let's say, let's fast forward to last week.
Yeah, because that is where our adventure begins. There's a pre the adventure, then there's the actual adventure, and then there's the adventure in the middle of the adventure, and in which I had a very minor mental breakdown. But that's okay.
So why were you gonna go on an adventure? What prompted
Because
the adventure?
back in I want to say end of May or early June, I finally caved and got a counselor because my mom happened to work with somebody that saw this same counselor, got diagnosed with ADHD, saw her, it was great. So I also saw this person. We've kind of been getting to know each other. She has ADHD, so she just kind of gets my brain on a level most people don't. And she referred me to a couple clinics, like in pursuit of like formal diagnosis. So I proceeded to look into a couple of these clinics and ultimately chose one in Saskatoon because they specifically said they do virtual appointments. So I emailed initially. They sent back a like background questionnaire thing of like stuff about you and stuff about like your family, any complications during childhood, pregnancy, yada yada yada. Took me about a month to actually do that and send it back to them because of course it did. But then I finally did. And they emailed back going, awesome, glad you did this. Guy that does the assessing has like openings as early as next week. And I was like, excellent, dope. And then I read further down the email and they said, unfortunately, this particular assessment cannot be done virtually. Thus began the scramble for transportation.
Mm-hmm. So partway through the week, as I allow Shaylee some time to think and work potentially, partly through the week, it became increasingly clear that Shaylee was going to need funds for a ride and everything else. So she had tapped um, social services and said, as we talked about on the show numerous times, um, for a lump sum to get her to and from Saskatoon on Saturday, July the 16th, I want to say. Yeah,
No,
16th.
the 16th was the appointment, so it would have been the week before that.
No, but get you to the appointment on the 16th.
Yes, sorry, I was half listening.
Yeah, that's what I said. So anyway, I was right, and I was trying to let you work, and then you're like, "No," but I was like, "Yeah."
No, but like this is I was half listening kind of and I caught the wrong words and I made the wrong
Yeah.
inference. Anyway,
Anyway, so yeah, she was tapped into said to get a ride for the 16th of July. No idea when this episode will come out. Anyway, funds were presumably good to go. Everything was going to be fine.
and then they weren't because they were, I don't want to say annoying, but annoying.
Yeah, let's just say for reasons that everyone can assume is just general government annoyance.
Yeah.
They took away the funding for a day or two, and
Eventually, many phone calls later and emails later, we got it back.
yes, so she got it back, received the ride after much sadness
Yes.
and or stress and or crying and or sadness.
There were multiple panic attacks that week. I was not okay. Like even the guy doing the assessment, I straight up told him like this entire month honestly has been a shit show for a variety of reasons because he was asking like in the past like month or so like how often have you had like panic attacks and stress and yada yada yada. And then eventually upon telling him that this month has been a shit show, he was like, okay, just ignore this month, just like slightly further back than that.
Yeah. So anyway, so she gets the ride, everything. So you have the assessment, and what did we take away from the assessment?
Um, it was 8 hours of testing hell, and Saskatoon is not overly wheelchair accessible.
Yeah. So do you want to divulge anything
I,
with regards to the testing,
I do.
or
I don't know. Like, what do I even? They made me do a whole like, because they had options initially when I was like booking the assessment. They were like, we could just do one for ADHD. We could do one for ADHD, anxiety, and depression, or we could do a full like learning disability assessment on the off chance you ever go back for your master's. Decided on that one. So they did a whole rigmarole of tests. They made me do memory tests. They made me do like reaction time and focus tests. They made me do math in my head repeatedly, which was devastating. Um,
mm-hmm.
but yeah, so that was 8 hours of chaos, and I don't even know what to like tell them about all of that. But
So the test is done now. So basically, what we've derived from the test overall, and we may delve into this if I go see Shaylee in person and have my camera. But overall, we'll find out whether Shaylee has ADHD within about a month.
yeah, he for
Um,
sure said, like, even before I compute the results, I can tell you right now, she doesn't have a learning disability, so sweet. But I'm guessing ADHD and anxiety are going to come back really, really high.
so yeah, that's about where we're at with that.
Yeah.
Um,
And basically, he said, I'm going to set up a Zoom meeting with you in a month. We're going to talk about any diagnoses that you may or may not have and like possible accommodations for both school and future employment. So sweet.
yeah. So I think um, it's important to tell the people like what was your before the like actually doing all the things. What in your head was like the reason that you wanted to potentially pursue this? What was happening in your head that was stopping your productivity or whatever you want to call it?
I don't have a functional brain anymore. Between executive dysfunction of like knowing I have to do the thing, wanting to do the things, and just not being able to do the things, and also zero memory, like my last two classes have been a shit show.
Yes,
As evidenced by the fact that I'm doing an assignment as we film this.
that is true. To be
So
fair
yeah,
to Shaylee, she remembers my name purely based on the fact that it's actually on screen right now. So,
no. Honestly, that was one of the questions questions though, and like I was telling you off camera earlier, that was one of the like trick questions in like the list. Like obviously it wasn't all questionnaires, but that was one of the trick questions in one of the questionnaires he had me fill out. Just to like, because some people will obviously just check like the most severe option on everything just to try and get a diagnosis. So one of the questions was legitimately, do you forget your own name? And I kind of did a double take and went, I forget other people's names, but not my own.
Mm-hmm.
Same with like one was, have you ever seen a bus? And I was like, what?
A what?
A bus, like a school bus.
Seen a bus?
Yeah, that was one of the other trick questions. And I did a worse double take on that one because that one came first. And that's when he explained, like, yeah, some people just check off everything. So that's kind of like a control question. And most typical people that are taking this seriously and answering honestly have the exact same reaction you just did.
I mean, yeah, of course I've seen a fucking bus.
That's what I said. And I legitimately did a double take and went, what?
Which clients tomorrow? I had to take her a little bit. Oh.
What?
Oh no. Okay,
What?
we will talk about that later and edit this out. Just bear with me here.
Okay, I didn't get anything, so I'm assuming it's just you.
No, it's Derek. Arlo is in the vet.
Oh, poor guy.
Yes, pancreatitis. I see it here.
Pancreatitis?
Pancreatitis. Yes. Yeah. Pancreatitis or something. So.
Anyway.
Yeah. Sorry. Where were we?
You were laughing about the bus thing.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I legitimately did multiple double takes and was like, wait a minute, did I hear you right? Because like I occasionally words sound like gibberish. Did I hear you right? And he was like, yeah.
Yeah. So this episode is more of a, as you can tell, kind of just a general update on Shaylee and how everything's going.
Yeah.
As you guys know, with me, I'm pretty laid back, so there's not much to report on my end of things. It's more of I don't know even how to say it. You know, it's my job just to be there and be supportive and see how things go
Like,
and go from there. But
that's gonna be a whole other like adjustment period too, because like we were having this conversation like eons before the appointment. I know, like, especially if I do get a diagnosis, I'm gonna get even more ADHD and be really annoying for a solid month or two because I'm gonna notice it more.
yeah, to be honest with you, it won't bother me. So whatever.
It's a
Um,
learning process for you too. That like even tonight we were talking about some stuff.
oh yeah, no, there's like I mean I've updated some people on what what's been going on in the past week, and had just have a fresh haircut, as you probably may have noticed, and she had mentioned that she also has ADHD, and she had said things such as, well, these are types of pills she'll get one set of pills to start with if she's approved for the pills.
God, I hope it's not Ritalin. I don't want to deal with
It's not.
Ritalin.
It's not Ritalin. I forgot the name.
Probably Vyvanse or something. I don't know. That's the
No,
only other one.
Vyvanse is afterwards. So here's what I know based on. This may not be completely factual information, but here's what I know based on my hairdresser. Um, the drug that she is using has escaped my memory because, of course, it has. But
Welcome to my brain all the time.
but anyways, you get this particular drug when you're diagnosed with ADHD to start with because it's basically a drug to see whether it works. Now, if this drug works, it kind of goes like 50 and 50. This is the way she described it. It'll allow you to function for half the time and then come down about half the time. So you'll come down like at 10 end of the day kind of deal. Then there's another drug called, what's the V one you just said?
Vyvanse?
Thank you. So Vyvanse does like 75 and then drops down. So it gets you way up there motivation wise for like a long period of time, and then you'll drop down as like evening time and supper comes so you can go to sleep. But
That's
what
gonna be a problem. I do my best work at night.
but what they well maybe it'll switch when whatever drug you're on. But what they do typically is if the first drug doesn't work, then they'll prescribe Vyvanse. But you have to prove
That the other
to
one doesn't work.
to your doctor that the other one doesn't work.
If the other one was Adderall, also maybe.
Yes.
Anyway,
She
I'm
did.
kind of what?
She did say like Adderall and stuff is like an option, but they try to tend to stay away from those drugs now
Yeah, it's
because
supposed to
of
be like
their
super
addictive.
addictive.
Yeah, their addictive properties.
Like a lot
So
of people on TikTok are like, you really expect me to get addicted to this when I don't remember to take them.
true.
Anyway, I'm kind of worried meds will do the same thing coffee does, though. Like half the time, it's like, yeah, I have energy and focus suddenly, let's go. The other half of the time, I am just a zombie after coffee. And
Well,
that's why coffee does that to people with ADHD, though. It's a stimulant, and stimulants calm our brain down.
yeah. So my guess, and of course, not a doctor, so don't quote me on this. My guess is she'll take the first drug, which escapes my mind, and it'll hopefully work, and that'll be perfect for her because she needs the 15-50 split.
I would like
So
to be able to think. I would like a quiet brain that can think of useful things.
your brain will never be quiet; it'll just think more. Um, it'll
It'll
have
just think in order, hopefully.
it'll have two hamster wheels, one that works and one that's just kind of rolling over there in the corner. Um, so yeah. Of course, this stuff just generally interests me, so I, talk to few people about it and different things. And a lot of people, you know, in my circle ask about you when I see them, just because, of course, we're an item. And they go, oh, yeah, I have this and this and this and all this other stuff. And it was interesting to note that a lot of this is coming from the same person. Um, Properties for females with ADHD mirror the aspects of depression. So she was put on antidepressants very early on,
So was I, and they sucked.
just because that's what they thought was the issue was that she was depressed. And um, then she said that the antidepressants didn't work at all because that's not what she had. Um, Then later on in high school, she started to realize that things were different, and then she actually got officially diagnosed a couple of years ago, and has been on meds ever since, and been an incredibly motivated human and going gangbusters and owns her own business.
That is the
So
phase I want to get to. Can I find the motivation if I have a time limit that's close enough? Yes. Do I find it any other time? No.
yeah, so just a general, what I would call an interesting set of days, set of circumstances, set of things going on for
Yeah.
Shaylee, and therefore our overall relationship, which is, always all good. Everybody keeps asking that because, like, we don't post episodes frequently enough. So they're like, "Are you guys alive?" And the answer is yes. We
We're
are alive.
alive. Our lives are just a mess.
Yeah, hence the, yeah. keep that in. We're just gonna keep that. We're gonna keep that in. Exhibit A. Uh,
I wanted to that cookie, damn it.
rip to that cookie. Was it one of Dave's?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
At least it was just like a little tiny corner. I ate most of it before I went away.
Oh, I'm sad that you have one and I don't. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. We'll
Do you
update
have
you as
like?
things go. But
Oh,
go
sorry,
ahead.
I interrupted.
Do I have?
I do that a lot. That was one of the questions too. Like, do you often like interrupt people when they're speaking, or like know when to start and stop talking? No, apparently I don't. Um,
No, to answer the first one, yes. Second one, no. I should have just
no.
been in the background, like, no. Yep. Yep.
No, that's the thing. They wouldn't let anybody else in the room either. Like my mom came along on the off chance she had to like scribe stuff, and dude was like, "No, we don't let anybody else in the room because like even you could subconsciously influence what I'm saying, I guess."
So what did your parents do during the time that they were in destitute?
Dad drank mom antique shopping.
Oh, thank God I wasn't there. Ah.
Yeah, yeah. Originally he was supposed to be, and then stuff happened, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad. I'm just glad it worked out. Um,
Uh-huh.
so yeah. Anyway, I'm probably just gonna release this video like sans
And
editing.
yeah.
Uh, and
Actually, while we're here, do you have questions I could maybe answer? Like we were kind of talking about it a little bit, but
I really don't because a lot of the questions that I come up with often just happen in conversation as we talk about things. But
yeah.
like the thing I've noticed with me in particular is especially like as I've grown as a person. Like if we're let's be honest with I'll be honest with myself. If this was me like 2 years ago, Shayla and I would have been broken up a long time ago because of where I was at in my life. Just because my patience and where I was at self confidently just wasn't there. So a lot of
And
it
also,
was
I exhibited a lot of ADHD and impulsiveness without knowing that's what it was, and it annoyed you a little bit.
yeah, like and it was just like again, it was my own self whatever. It was like my self confidence was protruding onto you in the sense of when you wanted to go and do all these things, I was like, well, what if this goes wrong? 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 Anyways, I'm just I'm pointing that out because from my perspective, having a partner, even a partner that's presumed to have ADHD and and everything that goes along with that, you have to be like what I've noticed is when Sheely says, I'm not talking to people today. Usually
Yeah,
I,
no, I.
usually I go okay and she's like it doesn't include you and that's nice and everything, but very rarely
Also, it
care
kind of does sometimes.
I very rarely carry on a conversation after that. Like oftentimes she'll be like, I don't want to talk to people, but that doesn't include you, and then I'll just say okay, and then
And
four
then I
hours.
proceed to not reply.
Yeah, then 4 hours will pass by, and then all of a sudden I'll get a hey, and that's the indication that Shaylee is ready to talk.
Is alive
And
again, yes.
and the old iteration of myself, which I'll give myself credit for, just general growth. The old iteration of myself would get deeply offended by that back in the day. I would be like,
Yeah, you'd be like,
"Oh
why the hell
well,"
are you not replying to me?
I'd be like, "Well, why didn't you want to talk to me? I thought it was different with me," and I learned,
And it is most of the time. Usually, even when I can't like handle voices or sound or whatever, I'm still like down to text. Sometimes, not so much, but
yeah, but what I mean is, like, the old iteration of myself would have just been like, okay, well, obviously she doesn't like me anymore, and we're at
yeah.
we're at an impasse, and then the self confidence issue would, you know, come to pass. And to be quite honest with you, that's part of the one of the main reasons why we ended up
Took a
not
break for a
not
while. Yeah.
not together to begin with. I needed to do some self-searching and things like that. So Shaylee is now in the own her own self-searching portion of her life, which is
And
good.
it's interesting. Oh,
Um, so it's cool.
yeah.
I just wanted to give people like a perspective of somebody that has a partner that is presumed with this and has learned from previous mistakes
Yeah, no, for sure.
and it's kind of just went like a lot of the time like when Shaylee says I don't want to talk to people different things. I'm totally cool with just like, okay, I'll go play vids for 3 hours.
Yeah. I
And
don't think you've ever witnessed me having like a complete borderline nonverbal shutdown in person yet, but you're good about it from a distance.
I'm pretty sure I have, but that was
I
like,
mean, oh,
because like, I'll put it this way: when that has happened in the past, that used to be when I was over at your place or whatever, and then you just didn't want to talk about stuff, and then you'd have a complete meltdown, cry, now all those different things, and I
I
and
don't
I
cry anymore. I just stop talking and zone out and dissociate for many hours. Oh,
yeah, I know, but most of the time, like again, old version of myself would force you to talk, and you hated that,
yeah,
and
that
then
goes poorly. Please don't do that.
you began to resent me, and I totally understand that. My own thought process when that happens is it's better to talk than not talk. But I also have to understand that people have different processes, and
It's not even that like it's a thing where like I'm upset. It's just I've had far too much stimulation in that particular moment in time and I need to be done. And even my own voice is annoying.
yeah, and so a lot of it is people have different processes that they go through and things that they need to do to compute with life and deal with life. And again, my old self would not have accepted that. New self, to be quite honest with
Not care
you,
less, which is
to
great.
be quite honest with you, I don't care. I don't care. Like, Shayla could tell me right now we need to end the show and we're done, and I'd be like,
No, dude, we're in the opposite mood right now. Give me things to talk about. I'm so bored.
yeah, I kind of figured that out. Again, it's just a day-to-day process you just kind of deal with over time. But maybe we'll break these up into separate
Into,
episodes.
I don't know,
Um,
probably.
but it's already
That's the other thing though. Like my brain
27
is a
minutes.
super annoying. What?
Already 27 minutes. Usually our
Are we
episodes are
actually?
20. So
Jesus. All right.
yeah, but
Okay.
okay. So here's the thing. What I think um we should do is A, get this episode out.
Yes.
B,
And probably don't even edit it because screw it.
yeah, I'm done with editing for a while because we haven't released an episode.
In like, how long has it been? I'm bad at time. How long has
At
it been?
least a couple of months minimum. So what I'm meaning to say to the people is just be on the lookout for more kind of ADHD stuff as we learn more about it and what's going on with
Because
Shay.
it'll come out more and be a hyper focus, and I'm gonna be annoying, as we previously mentioned.
I don't foresee the annoyance, but as a person that is super chill and doesn't give a fuck, um, whatever works and whatever you need, I don't really care. So there's that. I guess
There is lightning happening. Awesome.
yeah, it's raining. It's raining real good. It's doing what it did last night with the rain and the hail and the rain and the hail.
I really need power not to go out right now.
Yeah, that would be a huge L. What were you doing when the power went out? Not doing the assignment and doing an episode of my show. Uh, on that note, um, we'll we'll probably film some more this week as well. just
Or
because
even now. I don't know.
just because I'm off. For
Oh yeah, you're off for like 2 weeks. We didn't tell them that live update. You took
Yeah,
holidays and you're
I took
not going
holidays,
to
and I'm not
wherever
going to
you
my family
go.
cabin. Remember last year when I gave Shay the camera because I was
Yeah,
away?
that's not happening this year,
That's not happening this year because A,
which is good because I would have broken the camera anyway.
I don't have the camera. It's in my fishing bag at someone else's house. And B, I'm not going on my family vacation. So, while I'm feeling like I need something to do for 2 weeks, be prepared for a couple more episodes to potentially drop. Um, but anyway, that's what's been going on for the last week and a bit here. We love you guys very much. Thank you for continued patience, support, all those other things. We'll just do the outro while Shay goes typey type type type. Um, Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like the video. Click subscribe if you really like it.
Click the notification bell so you never miss any of our posts.
And we will see you soon.
Bye guys.
I don't
Am I
know
in
why.
frame right now? I don't know,
Yeah,
but
you
that's
did.
okay.
I don't know why I did it really slow, guys, but love you.
Bye.